Good morning, students. Mr. Moibi, the commerce teacher. The topic we want to look at this morning is history of Nigerian capital markets. Then before I proceed, I would like to share the lesson objective with you. At the end of the lesson, the student should be able to define the Nigerian capital markets. 2, describe the history of Nigerian capital markets. Third, discuss the features of Nigerian capital markets. And lastly, explain the operations of capital markets. Introduction to the capital markets. The capital market is a financial market where the medium and long-term funds for industrial development are mobilized and traded. So in this type of capital, in this type of market, the long-term fund simply means the industrialists are allowed to obtain long-term funds, long-term capital, and pay it back as at when due. So, and this long-term fund that will be collected by the businessmen or industrialists can be used for buying and selling. The money given to them can be used for buying and selling of goods and services. And it's also, this capital market is also a market where the buyers and seller come together for the financial security. Like what do I mean by financial securities? Like bond stocks. They can use the money to buy the shares. They can use the money to buy the company bonds as well as stocks. The traders in this market are called operators, and these operators are the intermediaries between the fundraisers, and fund users. The fundraisers are the creditors, where the fund users are the buyer. So, and both individuals and institutions are participants in. The individuals are part of this capital market, and the institutions are also part of the capital market. Then, example of capital markets include security exchange, brokers, dealers, issuing houses, registrar, and insurance advisors. All these are the example of capital markets. Then let us look at the types of capital markets. This capital market classified into 2 aspects. We have primary market as well as a secondary market. Under the primary market, this primary market is a market in which company or government can raise funds by issuing shares. So it is allowed by the government and the company to give out what is called capital for by issuing what, and this capital will be given in form of shares and loan stock. So to be given to the industrialist or the businessmen. Then the quoted companies can also involve in fresh funds. So there are some companies that will involve in the fresh capital. So then the Nigerian capital, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, also part of this primary market. So primary market also is a market where securities are created. When we are talking about securities, we are talking about the shares, we are talking about the stock, we are talking about the bonds. So this is a market whereby all this need to be created. So that is for the primary market. Let us look at the secondary market. Secondary market is a market for buy and selling existing securities. We are not talking about old security. We are talking about existing securities. The existing security are the security that have been in the stock for a long period of time. So this secondary market are the providers to the are vehicles to providing liquidity to investors. So they provide liquidity to an investors. So and this secondary market are those securities that are traded by what? They are the one that they are traded by investors. So there are some people that are investors. They like to invest their money into the into the market because they believe that that will give them a lot of good benefits. So that is for the secondary market. Let us look at the Nigerian capital market. The Nigerian capital market is a market for long-term investment. Long-term investment, when this Nigerian capital market is a long-term, you can buy shares. Then you can also buy what? Stock. Then you can buy bonds for a long period of time. For a long period of time, it could be 1 year, 2 years, even 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. So that's the Nigerian capital market. Then all this Nigerian capital market is where the corporate equities and long-term debt security are issued and traded. And this traded we are talking about, and trade we are talking about here is buy and selling of securities. So if at all, whatever anything they want to do, this type of Nigerian capital market are regulated by the stock, by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So this Securities and Exchange Commission is the apex regulatory body of Nigerian capital market. So they are the first, or they are the apex, so that regulates whatever securities, whatever investment, whatever buying and selling of shares, and so on. So they are the one that regulate all this. So that is for the Nigerian capital market. So let us look at the history of Nigerian capital market. The origin of Nigerian capital market dated back to colonial time. Yes, that was when the colonial master came to our country, and by the time they came, the British government, they are the one ruling the Nigerian capital market. And at that time, there was no money to fund this capital market. So it was very difficult for them to run the activities of the Nigerian capital market. Then most funds derived from that time. Before they can get money, they derive money from agriculture, produce marketing, and solid mineral mining. All these are the places whereby they derive money in order to start the Nigerian capital market as at that time. After they discovering that these sources were inadequate, all these sources cannot meet up to fund the Nigerian capital market. So they try to meet its growing financial obligations. The colonial administration decided to expand its revenue mobilization. So the colonial master then, they look at how they can try to get more revenue for the country. And they also look at the area of taxation, whereby they made it compulsory that time for the citizens to pay tax. So we also have other payment as well. So then the history of Nigerian capital market can be traced back to 1946. So 1946, that was when they are agitating for the Nigeria capital market. But in 1959, the first Nigeria capital market started in Lagos State, and that was Lagos Stock Exchange was established as a private company limited by guarantee and commenced operation in 1961. You can see that since that 1946, they are agitating for the Nigeria capital market. But the first one was set up in 1959 in Lagos State. They call it Lagos Stock Exchange, and the operation fully started in 1961. The emerging capital market all over the world have a history, and Nigeria is not in any different. So that is the continuation of the issue of Nigeria capital market. The Nigeria capital market represents a small but growing proportion of the economy. So it might be small that time, but the operation was growing steady by steady. And this the development of capital market institution is emerging economy that, like Nigeria, seek to examine not only how it came to be established, but also how this institution has evolved to impact upon the Nigerian economy. So they look at it, how this institution has improved the Nigerian economy significantly. So this capital market is so important to the development of any economy. So there's no how, this is to tell you students that the source of any country is not always depend on the crude oil. So you can see that the capital market as well can develop the economy of the country, depend on how the government of that country handle the case of this market. So this capital market is so important to the development of any economy that no country can risk its existence without putting in place the regular measures to regulate the activities of the market. So that, which is very, very important. That is how this Nigerian the history of Nigerian capital market. Let us look at the functions of the Nigerian capital market. We have numerous functions provided by the Nigerian capital market, this has helped to improve the economy of the country. Let us look at some of the functions of the Nigerian capital market. Nigerian capital market serve as link between the investors, between those that want to invest and those that are savings. You call them savers. So it has bring what is called it has bring them together to between the investor and the savers. So another one is the Nigerian capital market has helped in encouraging individuals for savings of money. So this to tell you that it is not only the banking or the bank that people can save money. So as well, you can also save money in Nigerian capital market. So it has helped them. It has helped individuals a lot. So for savings of money in this Nigerian capital market. And thirdly, the Nigerian capital market encourage investment. It has encouraged investment to boost the social economy activities. So Nigerian capital market has also helped, has already encouraged our investment, like shares, stocks, bonds. So it has also, because by the time you make an investment, you know definitely at the end of accounting period, you should be expecting returns, or you call it dividend. So that's helped so many people in the country. So because of this, what is called investment. So the fourth one, one of the functions of the Nigeria capital market is facilitating making the Nigeria economy grow. It has helped the Nigeria economy to grow a lot. So that's another function of Nigeria capital market. Another function of the Nigeria capital market has been in the area of stabilizing security prices. So that is what we call security prices in terms of the investment. So it has helped them a lot for the development. I mean, in terms of the security of the. So let us look at the features of capital market. The following are the main features of the capital market. Firstly, the capital market links savers with the borrowers of funds. Capital market has linked the depositor with the borrower of funds. So it has linked them together. Secondly, the capital market are regulated by the government rules. So it is being regulated by government rules and regulations. So they follow the government rules and regulations before this market is being set up. So the thirdly, capital market traders in both marketable and non-marketable securities. So marketable securities, there are some that are meant for buy and selling of goods, buy and selling of shares, and some that are not meant for buy and selling of securities. So then the fourth one, the capital market deal with medium and long-term financial instruments. So it deal with long-term loan or medium. By the time the setting up of a capital market need a lot, what is called long-term financial instrument before it can be in operation. Then the fifth one, they operate with the help of, before this capital market can be in existence, there's been intermediary, the intermediary of brokers. The brokers must be there, the underwriter must be there, merchant bankers, collection bankers, and so on. All these must be in must be on ground before the capital market can be. Before capital market can before they can start the capital market. Then lastly, the sixth one, capital market is determinant of the rate of capital formation. So capital market is the one that will determine the rate of capital formation in an economy. So it will determine the rate of capital formation. It will determine how they are going to raise the fund in an economy, which is capital. So I believe what I've introduced to you, this is how the history of the Nigeria capital market started, and also in operation, even up to date. So this is how this Nigeria capital market. So my students, if you want to go to the school lesson notes online, you see more notes on this topic. So that is what I'm having for you this morning, commerce. So that's a history of Nigerian capital market. Go to the school website, do your assignment, there you see assignment on this topic. Then the commerce recommended textbook is Essential Commerce for Senior Secondary School. So use it, go through the textbook, especially on this topic. And the assignment given to you, do it before uh, the, the school will resume back. So I wish you best of luck. Uh, I wish you best of luck. Please uh, keep yourself safe from this pandemic disease. God will be with each and every one of us. So, goodbye. See you next time.